Shalom, friends. This is Jonathan Feldstein at the Genesis 123 Foundation. Here in Jerusalem with my new old friend, Pastor Joey White from Texas. And we just had a lovely meeting, and I think we've inspired one another. And
you've been a big blessing. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm grateful for this, and I'm grateful to our mutual friend, Ann Stacy, for making our introduction and this visit possible. Pastor Joey was just sharing with me a lot of things and provoking a lot of really interesting thoughts and questions. But I wanted to record this conversation specifically for my Jewish friends, whether they're here in Israel or anywhere in the world, because this is a message. Why Pastor Joey and what 4 other members of your church are here? This is not their first time. They're veterans, longtime friends and supporters. But sometimes other Jews like me tend to look at Christians with suspicion. And I would like just to, in your own words, Pastor Joey, just why are you here? What are you seeing, and what's the purpose of this trip that's different from all your other trips?
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan, for having me today. For us, as soon as October the 7th started making news, for us, it was heartbreaking. For us and our congregation, we absolutely love the Jewish people. We believe that God chose them out of all the other nations, created a nation through Abraham. And he said, through this nation, I'm going to bless all the other nations. And so for me, I'm part of all the other nations. And so through that Abrahamic covenant, God said, those that bless you, Abraham, are going to be blessed, right, and those that curse you will be cursed. And so I take that literally, and I believe it's true today, that God is calling us to bless Israel.
Right.
And there's many different ways, but for us, as soon as we heard what happened on October 7th, the horrible things that were taking place, we said to ourselves, we come to Israel when it's peaceful. We need to come to Israel now during this very difficult time to show our support and deep love for the Jewish people and for the land of Israel. Like, we believe the land and the people are so connected together. And so we wanted to come physically to be here. We could have called on the phone. We could have said, hey, we love you, we're praying for you. But we wanted to come and look people in the eye and hug their neck and literally say, we stand with you physically. We stand with you. And what happens here in Israel affects us in America. And so the Bible teaches us when our friend mourns, we mourn. When your young men and young women go to war, we want to stand with you. We want to support you. And for us, it was very important that we come here to say those things and be here with you, because we're hurting with you and truly love you. That's why we're here.
So thank you for that. Even though we already discussed it, I can't not hear things like that enough. And I can't not get touched emotionally by that. And that's despite the fact that on a day-to-day basis, at least 6 days a week, but really often 7, because I can't take out of my mind the work that I'm doing in the building bridges between Jews and Christians every day of the week. It's super inspiring, but I know a lot of Jews who are watching and following and who are my friends or followers on social media don't get it. And they're still hearing your words that are sincere, that are passionate, that are biblically rooted, but they're hearing it with suspicion. How do you address somebody like that? And without unpacking all of the historic reasons why Jews have reasons to be suspicious of Christians, but how do you address it to people who are grieving and are angry and are fearful of what's going on, whether it's here in Israel or the tremendous rise in anti-Semitism that's taking place back in America?
That's a great question, and I would first say I don't blame you. And the reason why I say that, it seems like it's during Passover.
Wow.
I've been told that every year it's maybe it's a joke, maybe it's not a joke.
It's real.
It's real. That I wonder who in this generation is going to rise up to try to annihilate the Jews. And so I can't imagine what that's like. I met with a good friend of mine yesterday, a Jewish man, and he says, oh, you Christians have it easy. And I immediately said, we do. Yes, we do have it easy. And I said, I would never want to be Jewish because there's so many things so many persecutions, so many hurts from all the nations, not just one nation, but all the nations on earth that have really tried to exterminate and annihilate the Jewish people. And I was not here for then. I recognize it. I've read plenty of history about that, but it has to change with somebody. So I've decided for me and my family, we're going to serve the Lord and we're going to stand with Israel. And so I can't change the Bass, but I'm going to change it for my family. I'm going to change it for my congregations in America. And I hope to be the change agent for the future.
Sure.
That we continue to come, that we continue to lock arms with our Jewish. I feel like you guys are like a big older brother. We're the younger brother that gets slapped around sometimes by the big brother, but we're here to support you and love you and say, hey, we don't have it all figured out, but we're willing to start.
Yeah, well, that's the beginning. Is that I can't think of the verse because I'm so tired. It's from the Talmud. You don't have the obligation to complete the task, but nor do you have the prerogative not to begin it. So you just said that. I don't know, but it's a big task, and it's a big task building bridges between Jews and Christians, and a big task to change how Christians think about Israel. To have it's not even theology, it's the worldview that you would just express. I wanted to share something because I guess you didn't know that part of the Passover Seder that we do every year is real. That we stand up and we cast out the evil, and we say every generation someone has risen against us. And often in the diaspora over history, that's been done quietly behind closed doors because we're afraid of our Gentile neighbors. And here I'm sitting with a new friend from Texas, a pastor, not only who we're not afraid from, who's quoting it back to us, saying, you have the right, you have a good reason to be suspicious. But then also hear his heart and hear what he's saying and embrace it and ask questions. If you don't understand it, the responsibility is not to reject it. It's to inquire more, and that's part of why I do what I do is because when I say building bridges between Jews and Christians, it needs to be a two-way street, and we as Jews have that obligation, and that's why I wanted Pastor Joey in his own words to share his thoughts. What else before my iPhone storage maxes out? What else do we need to know and share in this conversation and your experience here in Israel now?
That's good. So for me, I truly believe in the redemption of Israel, and I believe it's through the Jewish people. And I would tell you that the best thing you can do for the world is to truly become a better Jew. And what I mean by that is continue to follow the Torah, continue to teach your kids, continue to do exactly what Shema Israel says, to love the Lord your God with all your heart, to teach your children, to do all of these things. And by doing that, I believe you are fulfilling exactly what God has called you to do. You are to be a light for all the other nations to follow. And that's me. So I need you to be the light for me and for my family and for America.
Wow.
And if you're not doing that, you're not being obedient to the call that God has given you as priest to all the other nations. And so I'm calling out the Jewish people to say, just do exactly what God's called you to, because you're teaching us how to worship and follow the one true God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And by doing that, you really are truly helping the entire world. So I believe what happens to Israel today affects America today. And so we love you, we support you, we're with you, and I really feel like we're in this together.
Thank you. Pastor Joey, I'm grateful to now call you a friend, and I'll do anything Ann Stacy says. So she says meet Pastor Joey White, and of course I am. But now I'm grateful and I'm blessed, and I look forward to continuing this. And anyone who's watching and needs to comment or ask questions, we have a very, very sincere, receptive friend. So let's keep this as a relationship and dialogue. God bless you all.
Thank you.